Within minutes, thousands of men, women, and children were drawn from their homes and towards Fort Frick. After waiting for about an hour and a half, the Pinkertons attempted to disembark in the 4 a.m. darkness, when shots began to ring out in the Monongahela Valley. Conflicting testimony exists as to who took the first shot in Homestead, with the New York Times reporting that it was the Pinkertons, and some witnesses claiming that it was one of the strikers. Regardless of who took the first shot, the first wounded individuals were William Foy, a steel worker, and Friedrich Hinde, captain of the Pinkerton agents. After the first shots rang out, the Pinkertons immediately fired into the crowd of workers, killing 2 and wounding 11. The strikers responded in kind, killing 2 and wounding 12 Pinkertons. Over the next several minutes, shots continued to ring out from both sides. The Pinkertons began to cut holes in the iron barges in order to make embrasures to shoot out of. The striking workers, meanwhile, huddled behind the mill's scrap iron for protective cover. It was around this time that the Pinkertons' flagship tugboat returned to the embarkation point with their wounded men, leaving the rest of their agents stranded at the mill. With this in mind, the striking workers set up ramparts out of scrap iron and positioned themselves upstream and above the Pinkerton barges. Hundreds of local wives, daughters, mothers, and sisters began to congregate midfield between the Pinkertons and their striking loved ones. The growing crowd of women began chanting in unison, "Kill the Pinkertons," as the steelworkers took the occasional pot shot at the iron barges from their new vantage points. Other steelworkers took rowboats out to the Mon, from which they were able to make a few shots against the Pinkertons still stuck at the riverbank. By 6 a.m., John McLucky, who was the Burgess of Homestead, issued a proclamation asking for the people of the borough to come and help defend the peace. Within a short while, more than 5,000 people were congregated on the streets of Homestead, overlooking the scene at Fort Frick from the hills. Across the Monongahela, near Duck Hollow, a 20-pound cannon was set up facing the stranded Pinkerton barges. Attempts were made to hit the agents, but all of the attempts were unsuccessful in crossing such a wide river. 6 miles away in the town squares of Pittsburgh, thousands of factory workers and thousands just sympathetic to the strike listened on as the events were unfolding. As the firefight in Homestead continued into the daylight hours, many locals began to arm themselves and make haste towards Fort Frick. As the sun began to rise, a Pinkerton tugboat was once again spotted making its way upriver. By 8 a.m., they attempted to land once more.